is Julie. Welcome to my channel. You are watching Treasures Made from Yarn. First and foremost, I want to thank you. I have reached my 1,000 subscriber milestone, and I couldn't do that without you and taking the time to watch my video, so I want to thank you for that. But this video is my weekly work in progress and finished project video. So first of all, it's finished. My temperature blanket for March is done. I don't know if you can see all that. So yeah, I usually do a separate video for my temperature blankets, but I'm thinking I will include it in this video. But so yeah, that is done. For this month, it is turned to be more square than long, the 31-day month, but a lot of the patterns at the beginning of the month were only a couple rows. And then I got toward the end, I've cut a few rows short because all it was, if I get a close up, all it was like a stepping. Like all it was doing was, I don't know if you can get clear, that it was just stepping. I don't know if you can see. So I didn't want to repeat the stepping, and you know, it was getting toward the end of the month. I want to get this done. And I think this other one I was starting, I think I made some errors, and I just said, screw that, I'm just going to stop it. But yeah, it was just stepping, and I just didn't need to repeat the stepping pattern. So I just throw it, and yeah, it was to the point where I want to get it done, and now it's done. But you know, that's what I was expecting for this whole blanket. There's gonna be mistakes or liberties in this blanket, and I took some again for this month. Well, at least the upside, it seems like I didn't lose. I start with 100 stitches at the beginning, and sometimes throughout some point, sometimes I lose a couple and drop a couple stitches, and that's how it worked out sometimes. But it seemed like it was better this month. And if I had to pick a favorite stitch out of this month, I know I like stitches that look the same on the back too, and that would definitely be this step. I don't know if you can see that. It is definitely this stepping one. I would say that would be a favorite stitch if I was to make any knitting projects. I would probably pick that one out of this. So that is March is done. Though even I had January and February's blanket done. I did join them. I joined them with a single crochet, and I guess that I'll have that out. So yeah, I started the process of now putting the whole blanket together. So I think my plan is to do like 3 rows. I'll at some point will attach March to the bottom, and then I'll have April. I'll do like 3 rows. I'll have 4 rows of 3 months. If that made sense. But anyway, January, February, I attach the 2 together. Probably won't attach Marches until I do the stash down video at the beginning of next month, which would be, we're looking into May. Oh, we're just now into April. It's like we are 3 months into my temperature blanket, now starting the 4th month. So yeah, the temperature, I don't realize how time consuming that blanket is. I guess knitting, I don't knit as fast, so you would think doing only, so most of the patterns are on average 4 rows. Some are less and some are more than less, and it takes me almost, and then after I get home, usually after work, usually it takes me a good hour or two. We're talking like at least maybe an hour to do only 4 rows. Of course, there's 100 rows, 100 stitches per row, but if you're crocheting, you know that's way faster. So the temperature blanket. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll be committed to it and I will finish it. But it's taking some time that's not of my other projects that I might want to do, or it's taking a long time to do because I'm dedicating time to the temperature blanket. But oh well, I digress. So, because the only other project I got done, if you have seen my last stash down video, is this basket. I did another basket. I mean, if you've seen last week's work in progress video, I had a basket and I did another one. This is done in Chanel, which, yeah, I don't recommend. I don't recommend Chanel yarn for a basket. It's really flimsy, but it is soft. So, this is a leisure. I found the Leisure Arts pattern for this, and you have to pay for the PDF, but I will, regardless, put that link in the description. Otherwise, I had a Crochet at Home book, and the pattern was in this book, but I'll leave the link for that basket. And now see, I look around my stuff here, and that is it for my finished objects. And it's time to go on to my projects that I have in progress. So obviously, if my March blanket is done, we started April. And this is only the first. I only have the pattern for the first done. And it's yellow, so it means it was my April 1st for me, it was 50 degrees. So yeah. So I'm recording this on the 4th. So I'm like I don't know if I would count it's very early in the 4th, so I wouldn't count today yet. So that leaves me about 3 days behind, which I guess isn't too bad. But yeah, talk about pattern. And every so often I get a more complicated pattern. This is one where I had to like purl 3 together, and then stitch that I would have to knit, purl, and knit in the same stitch. And stitches and stuff like that takes me even longer to do. So yeah, it took me almost a whole evening to do 4 rows of this pattern. So that is the start of April's temperature blanket. Of course, I have the Crochet temperature scarf. Oh, don't lose my needle. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? I'll lose my needle here. So yeah, I got that. So some other progress I got done on that is that I'm sewing the ends in. Right, my yarn is caught. So yeah, I'm starting to actually sew in my ends, because I was initially thinking of leaving the ends that have this fringe, but now that I started actually finishing off the ends, I definitely like that much better. It looks much better without the fringe. So yeah, this is almost getting to be too long to put on camera too. So you see, like, I don't know, you say by March temperature, by the knitted blanket, you can see the temperature changes. I guess that was my only deal, is that it was a little harder to see the temperature changes, but this will look pretty cool when it's done too. I'll have a nice little scarf. I don't know how warm it'll keep me. This is a very flimsy, the milk cotton yarn is pretty thin. It's like a size 1 or a 2, at 1 or 2. So I guess this will be more of a decorative scarf than an actual, well, it could be, I guess it could be functional scarf. But that is the progress on that. And as always, this one is easy to keep up to date. So this one's for sure up to date. And today, temperatures. I don't know if you knew, I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. It is supposed to hit, it might hit the 80s. It's supposed to hit the 80s today, which would be the first time this year that it's going to get that warm. But yeah, I had 70s earlier, like not yesterday, but the day before. Was it 70s? No, 2 days ago it got into the 70s. I mean, we're starting to see 60s and 70s. The weather is starting to get pretty warm, which means obviously the colors in my temperature blanket's going to change. So, all right, enough babbling. I do have more works in progress. Oh, here we are. Why don't you get out of there? I still have the hanging sloth. So yeah, this basket part was done. And I'm almost done. I'm working on the head. I still have to actually attach. Okay. I still have to actually glue and attach the safety eyes to the head yet. But this is coming along. I should have hopefully the hanging sloth done. Hopefully by the next video it'll be a faux, because I am making this for a church friend. And even though she told me that there was no hurry on it, I should work on getting this completed. Okay, let's see, on to my next work in progress. I have a bunch of works in progress. Okay, so this, if I mentioned, was what I call the waiting project. That means if I'm in a waiting room, or if I'm in an area waiting, like getting my car done or something like that, I usually work on this project. And I had to take my husband to the emergency room this past Sunday. He's over, I think it's more stress related. He wasn't feeling very well. He was having, almost like flu-like symptoms, but he's just not sleeping or anything like that. So it definitely turned out to be, he's okay. It just turned out that it's more stress related. But anybody who spent time in the ER knows how long you can be hanging out in there. So while I was hanging out in the ER, I got like 2 colors done. I got my white done, and I think I got this color done. So I got some progress done on this scarf, to the point where I'm like, oh, I have to hold back and hold this too. So yeah, I got like 2 color sections done. So, and my husband's gonna have knee surgery coming up in about 20 days, like later this month. So I'll probably definitely be making some progress on this project then, while he is having his knee surgery, plus he'll be in a hospital for a day. So around that time, I should get a decent amount of this project done. And there might come a point where it's like, okay, I want to get this done, so I might work on this done, because this is an easy project. This is just the linen stitch. And in fact, I initially didn't even know how many stitches I started. I just made a chain long enough that looked long enough for a shawl, and just went going on the linen stitch. So you gotta be careful though, because usually mindless projects like this, sometimes you might drop or lose a stitch. So it seemed like that my top row was a little bit shorter than my bottom row, but I counted my stitches and it's the same amount of stitches. My only guess is if the only reason that I can think of that why my current row is maybe shorter than the bottom row is either my tension changes every time I pick this project up, or if I keep moving it around a lot, that maybe it stretches because of movement. I don't know. You can let me know in the comments how that is. So anyway, that's that project. Let's see. Oh, I got 2 projects left. The one I almost forgot about last week, at the end of the last video, I'm working on a basket. using grocery bags. I guess I'm recycling my grocery bags, and I am cutting it into strips. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you know the bag, I'll cut it into strips that look like loops. Just connect loops. And I have what they call plarn. And then I'm making a basket. I'm still on the bottom part of the basket, so that is that. I have several baskets already made with this, with plarn. But I am using my basket pattern to make that basket. So let's see, I think I have one more project left. Okay. And that is, I am working on a video tutorial. I haven't got much done on that, but this is the start of what I call my small shell sock. I made the first sock up to the point where I would start to heel. And I think I did that because that way when I'm recording the video, I have already did the video for the band. Hold on. Because I started the second sock. That way, because, okay, so I recorded the band. I recorded how to do the band. And then when I get this band done, I will record how to do the shell pattern. And then after I record how to do that, then I could go back immediately and go back to this sock and record how to do the heel. And then I'll probably finish up this sock and show how to do the toe. Oh, yeah, usually I put off making tutorials on socks because that feels like that takes, some tutorials can probably take, maybe if it's a small project, it can take a day. But yeah, some projects take a while to record, and the sock is one of them. And then I'll go back to my temperature blanket because, again, I said that temperature blanket seems to be sucking up some time. And yeah, I want to kind of get going on my sock tutorial because that falls under, I don't know if you knew, I have a blog, which I do hope you check out because even though I have right now at this point, after doing YouTube for a while, I do have many crochet tutorials, but I have more written tutorials. So if you know how to read patterns, do check out my blog and my patterns there. And all my video tutorials come with a matching blog post with the written pattern. So if you're trying to learn how to read patterns, that usually helps out. You find the video and then you follow along with the written pattern. Because I'm pretty sure, even though there's a lot of YouTube videos out there, there's probably way more written patterns out there too. So it wouldn't hurt to learn how to do that. Maybe that'll be a future video for me, how to read written patterns. But in the meantime, you can start by reading, maybe when you watch any of my video tutorials, you can follow along on the blog post. And that might help get you started on your journey on how to read written patterns. Because I've been doing written patterns since about 2008. So, okay, I digress. And that is, hopefully I've not forgotten any of that. Is all my works in progress. All right, now if you're still sticking around to the end, I do have a mini yarn haul from Amazon. Usually yarn hauls are separate videos, but I only got one. Or actually two. There's two balls here. I've seen this on, it seems like I get most of my yarn from either Michael's, because it's literally a less than 5-minute drive, if that, or Amazon, because sometimes I will earn Amazon gift cards through some of the apps or projects I do on my phone, which at some point I wanted to do a video on how I earn Amazon money. But anyway, I had some Amazon money I earned it's either scanning, you know, apps that you scan receipts, or some, I think I'm doing a health study, which earning points and stuff like that. So anyway, I know I keep meaning, okay, I'll keep babbling like that, but someday I might do a video on how I do that. But anyway, I earned some Amazon money and I bought some yarn. This is, I'm trying not to butcher the name here. Shakam, so I think it's a German company. I don't know. I can't pronounce that. SCHACHENMAYR. It's like, I'll say Shachenmeyer. It's okay. Anyway, the yarn's called Catalina. This is it's a size 2 yarn. It says it's a size 2. And it's definitely a cotton. This is a cotton yarn. And it is 50 grams or 100, and it's 125 meters or 1.75 ounces or 134 yards. Let's see, it looks yellow. Does it mention a color? It just says, it's a color. It just says a number. It's color 100, and they list a lot. So I have 2 balls of that. So it feels like cotton. So this is probably, I don't make too many doilies, but this yarn screams doily. It looks like it's too thin. I don't know if I can make a bag with this or not. Or, I don't know. Anyway, that is now going to be among my stash. So, all right. That, for real, is all I have. If you're still sticking around, I want to thank you for watching this video. And because I do appreciate you coming here every week or anytime I post a video. So if you did like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. I want to thank you, as always, again for watching. And I thank you for subscribing and for me reaching my 1,000 subscriber milestone. And I will see you in my next video. Bye now.